Hello, I'm Brian Fitzgerald, the Golf Doctor, and today I'm going to take a look at how to pitch the ball closer to the hole. So pitching is one of those low-hanging bits of fruit in terms of lowering our golf score. And if we can get better at pitching, we're going to really make inroads to having that lower score. So pitch shots go in the air and they don't run that much, as opposed to a chip shot which goes low and runs. So everything about this pitch shot, and this is just a simple pitch, it's about 30 yards away from the flagstick here. So I'm going to talk you through my basics of hitting this simple little pitch, and I'll also cover what most commonly goes wrong. So the first thing I like people to do is we want to try and keep the ball roughly in the center of our stance and keep our stance reasonably close together. I also want a fairly neutral setup in relation to our hands. I don't really want hands in front. We just want it to be level and ball position, as I said, in the middle of our stance. Now, a lot of people, when they try to play this shot, they try not to use their hands. So they're doing everything they can to take their hands out of play on the backswing. I really like to use just a little bit of wrist hinge. Now, I'm not saying you should flick the club or cock your wrists or hinge your wrists early. I prefer to use the term, it's a softening of the hands. So when I swing it, I'm just letting the hands go soft and there is just a little bit of movement there. And that sets my whole golf swing up. If I take it back with fairly stiff wrists and then I come down, I'm actually going to hit the ground behind, which is going to cause me to flub the shot or miss hit the shot. If I do that enough, my brain's going to start finding a way to compensate. So if I take it back with no wrist hinge at all, and I know I'm going to hit the ground, the brain's going to start thinking, I've got to lift up, which may work, but it won't work consistently. And in doing so, you're then increasing the chances of topping the golf ball. So what I like to do is just think of letting the wrist hinge a little bit. Now, when I come down, I do not want to keep this handle of the club or the grip of the club in front of the club face. If I take it back like that and I do that, I'm actually not touching the grass. So that's going to cause me to top the shot. So if I create lag, which is another way of thinking of it, we don't really want to create lag on a little pitch shot. So it's going to cause me to top it. So then the self-adjusting mechanism in the brain kicks into gear and says, oh, okay, I've got to then drop down. And once again, that might work and you may hit a good shot, but it won't work consistently. And the moment you get one of these shots under pressure, over a bunker, it's probably going to fail. So what I much prefer to do is just to keep the body reasonably quiet. I'm not saying keep it still, but I'm saying keep it reasonably quiet. We've got our neutral setup, ball in the middle, and from there, a little bit of wrist hinge and then a little bit of unhinging on the way through. So I'm trying to get the club in front of my hands. And in doing so, you can see I'm catching the bottom of the arc and I'm touching the grass. That's going to enable me to hit quite a decent shot. So we'll see how I go with it. So it's ball roughly in the middle, fairly neutral setup, a little bit of wrist hinge going back, a little bit of wrist hinge coming through, and that ball's landed up there and it's stopped about 2 feet from the hole. So we don't want to keep our wrists nice and stiff through the shot. That's a totally different shot and that's a chip. So I'm not saying I want you to be flippy with your wrists. You can just have a little soft hinge and a little soft unhinge, and that's going to help you to provide much better contact. And really the whole aim of golf is whatever position we start from and wherever we get to, we really want to get back as near as we can to that starting position. So if I can get that leading edge of the club hitting the bottom dimple on the golf ball, that's going to lead me to a fairly successful pitch shot. Okay, so I'll do that one more time. I'll just take a line. Neutral hands, ball in the middle of my stance, soft hinge on the way through, and that ball just hit the flagstick. So there you have it. If you're interested in how you can learn to control the distances with pitch shots, I've made a video that I'll put a link to at the top of the page, which helps you to get control of the distance that you hit all of your pitch shots. So that's pretty much it. That's how we pitch. If this is your first time to this channel, welcome. This channel is all about helping you play better golf. And of course, if you want to play better golf, one of the best ways to play better golf is to hit the subscribe button, click the bell notification. You're then notified of all of my tips, and every tip that I produce is designed at aiming for you to lower your score. Thank you for letting me help you with your golf. I'm Brian Fitzgerald, the Golf Doctor, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.